And here's my thoughts on who each team should retain and who they should release. And I will be including all trades, like the recent Jadeja and Sam Curran one for Sanju Samson. Um, More on that later. Also, there are some rules. There's only like two pretty loose rules. 25 players can be retained, should stay within 120 crores. Easy stuff. I'm just going to be talking about two teams per episode. I can't really find a reliable source about like purchases and replacements after the auction, so I'm just like gonna lump them into everything that I know. For all these teams, I'm gonna mention the all the retained players and talk about some surprising releases and retains. I'm not gonna be talking about like all of them. Starting for the bottom, CSK. That's my favorite team. Trading away Jadeja and Sam Curran, not the play for them specifically. The right play is to trade them off. Like, trade them off, sure, I don't care. But trade them off for someone who can be super reliable for your team. We already have like a solid top order, and we already have two Indian wicket keepers besides Dhoni, and Ruturaj is a okay part-time keeper. I'd rather them trade both Jadeja and Sam Curran for a proper number 6 or proper number 7 rather than a top order batter like Sanju Samson. Trading both of them for someone like Tristan Stubbs, maybe even Tim David, probably it wouldn't happen, but trading both of them, it definitely wouldn't happen, but that's what both of them are worth, and that's what they should get for it. They shouldn't get someone like Sanju Samson. Or maybe even just Sam Curran for Ashutosh Sharma would have been the correct play. Maybe also not like pretty fair, but still. Sanju is a top order batter, and now that the top order is relatively fixed, I believe that there shouldn't have been any playing around with it because they already had Urvil, Matre, and Ruturaj, and they could have Brevis up there, and then they could maybe, if they RTM'd Conway, yeah. I'll get into that later. Okay, let's get into who they should release. Ashwin retired, so they get 9.75 crores automatically. And from my calculations, I think it's around 40 crores that they get from this. I haven't calculated for all teams. I think I had some previous calculations that I just looked at and then added some stuff on and changed some stuff. And I think they should retain ththese players. Matisha Patirana, I know, surprising. Urvil Patel, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Shivam Dubey, Sanju Samson, who got traded, obviously, I'm going to put him in there. Ayush Matre, Khalil Ahmed, Duold Brevis, Nathan Ellis, and Noor Ahmed. These aren't bad retentions. Some of them just might sit on the bench most of the games. Obviously, there aren't many surprising releases. Rachan Ravindra might be fairly surprising some, but I just don't consider him IPL ready, which that's for a lot of players. They enter IPL way too early. But they do good sometimes. Sometimes they do good. Conway is a tough one for me to like release. I'm not really sure if I should release him or not. I said release him, but I feel like he is a diehard Super King in my eyes. I would definitely look to RTM him. He is a good player. He played well in the final match versus GT last year, hitting 52 off 35. I believe that's what he hit. But he hasn't been in the best form since then. Obviously, he hits like the occasional 50, but the rest of the time he plays relatively net negative knocks. He's kind of like an evolved Martin Guptill, but not like fully evolved. You know, like Pokemon, you have Guptill's the base stage, then you have Devin Conway, middle evolution, and you don't have anyone as the final evolution yet. Honestly, though, I feel like it could be, like, he could do way better, but he just doesn't. Anshul Kamboj is another surprising. I didn't release Anshul Kamboj. What am I talking about? I meant to retain. Okay, Anshul Kamboj. Let's talk about him. Like, I'm very iffy on Anshul Kamboj. I feel like CSK can easily get a better pacer than Anshul Kamboj. So I said release him originally, but then you could also RTM him. I'm very iffy on this one because I prefer that they keep Anshul Kamboj, but I also don't really care if they release him. I won't be surprised by either, but if you can't get a better pacer than Anshul Kamboj, maybe Natarajan. Natarajan can't really bowl the power play. I'm trying to think of one. No one's going to friggin' release. I mean, if RR release Sandeep Sharma, then go. But, like, if they can get a better pacer than Anshul Kamboj, then definitely go for him. I feel like they can, but I wouldn't bank on it. Like, I wouldn't really go and bet on it. Yeah, they're definitely getting a better pacer than Anshul Kamboj, but they're not. So I would. It's very iffy on that. Stay on the safe side. Maybe retain him. Yeah, I would stay on the safe side and retain him. Uh, I don't really know. Maybe RTM him for less. I think he went for 2 or 3 crores last year. Um, so maybe RTM him for less. But honestly, I don't. I'm very iffy about him. And now let's talk about Nathan Ellis. I wasn't sure. Like it's the same thing with Anshul Kamboj, except I think he's way better than Anshul Kamboj, because CSK like their pace attack problem last year was that it was too expensive. Not like too expensive in the money sense, but too expensive in the run sense. Khalil Ahmed is going at like 9 and over. If you had Ellis on the team, you could easily stop that. Ellis goes at like 7 and over. That's pretty good in IPL standards. 7 and over is not that bad. And I don't know, like he hasn't played against top teams. I mean, as in top IPL teams. IPL's the highest out of like, you have probably like, I don't know. Think of some like BPL down here, Lanka Premier League down here. Then you have like T20 internationals like third place. Then probably like Big Bash maybe, and then probably IPL. That's like your most competitive. So he hasn't really played that much in competitive, but I assume like just by looking at him in internationals and looking at him in BBL, I assume he should be IPL ready, and I think he would do really good if he was playing. Um, he warmed the bench the entire season last year, so it's a bit weird to retain him, but I feel like he should be fine. And okay, if CSK can get a good death over spacer, I think that's where Ellis can really shine. Like someone like Natarajan, even Patirana would be a pretty good death overs pacer. But my problem is with the overseas pacers and just pacers in general. We might have to play with 4 pacers if we use Ellis and Patirana in the same game. Ellis, Patirana, and Khalil, right? That goes up to 4 pacers plus Anshul slash other pacer. Um, 4 pacers, right? You do not want to bowl with 4 pacers in Chipok. That's like, you just don't want to. But if they could somehow work it out with Noor maybe putting out an over in the death, or maybe even another spinner putting out a death over in the death, they could probably do something really well with the death overs. Maybe even if Khalil improves his Yorkers, improves his length, he would be really good in the death overs. Maybe even Anshul Kamboj could bowl a few death overs. You never know. But I feel like that's the main issue with this entire squad that I'm building up to. So now for the pretty fun part. Who should they buy? Well, overseas all-rounders, definitely, who preferably bowl pace, who can bowl part-time in the middle overs. Doesn't have to be pace specifically, but can be, should be, preferably. Good finishers, preferably who are those all-rounders who are the good finishers, like someone similar to Andre Russell, but not of the same caliber, obviously. More pace, just more pace, better pace specifically. But I feel like this pace, like, it's because of the mega auction. Like once you get to the mega auction, your team cannot be rebuilt after that. You can't rebuild your team after a mega auction. You have to continue with that team for 3 years, not do anything for 3 years, and then you have to wait for the mega auction, which is why the mega auction was so important, which is why you shouldn't fumble a mega auction. I would just look at a couple of overseas pacers. I'd start out with Matt Henry, who probably isn't IPL material, but could be a solid start. Maybe someone like Raj Labani, who also isn't IPL material, but he looks promising from an Indian perspective, and maybe could be an RTM instead of Anshul Kamboj. You never know. But I do prefer RTM and Kamboj instead of retaining because it just gives you more space and flexibility in the side for now. Like I said, I wasn't sure. As for finishers, you should definitely look at someone like Donovan Ferreira, who's already been a Super King. He played for Texas Super Kings or Joburg Super Kings. I think it was Texas in the MLC. And Mitch Owen also looks like a promising choice. And he's done well as a cameo-er in T20s with a strike rate of 160, 150 or so. Jamie Smith, I would say he's a better choice, but he doesn't bowl. He's a wicket keeper. Of course, he doesn't bowl, but yeah. And finally, they need an Indian spinner. I would prefer the million close to home. Maybe even Vignesh Putter, for someone from Kerala. I doubt GT are going to release either Sai Kishore or Washington Sundar. And if they do release either of them, it will go down as one of the worst decisions in IPL history, like ours release a Butler. Since it's a mini auction, there probably aren't going to be a lot of big names. Like I said, mega auctions, that's why mega auctions are so important. You shouldn't be rebuilding your team in a mini auction. But some to look out for will probably be Tanush Kotian or Jalaj Saxena. Oh, Rafi Bishnoi. I forgot to write him in the script for like the first it's like 1 a.m. here, okay? So like I forgot to write him in the script. But it's whatever, okay? Um, so I forgot to write him in the script, but Ravi Bishnoi he's not a big name, but like he's relatively big. I think LSG should release him. I thought they would release him after 2024. I didn't predict it, but like I felt like they would. I just felt the vibes, but they didn't. But I feel like they will this year. I think he had 10 economy in the 2024 season and 9 in the 2025. Don't fact check me. I might be wrong. But yeah, those are the big names. Preferably someone like Ravi Bishnoi or Tanush Kotian would be the best because Jalaj Sena is too old. Yeah, and in Chepak, Ravi Bishnoi would be unstoppable. So my playing 11, we started with Ayush Matre, obviously, Samson or Urvil Patel. Here is my main concern. I was thinking obviously it has to be Samson, right? But then Urvil works really well with Matre. Matre is more of an anchor, in the not in the traditional anchor sense, but rather in the modern anchor sense, 140 strike rate. Urvil's like 180-ish. That's why I think Urvil would be a better choice than Samson, but Samson's probably more experienced, You never know. But that's why I don't want to go with Samson. That is my one gripe against Samson. I really want to go with Urvil at opening because Urvil is everyone's trying to put him at 6. He does not fit in at 6. Urvil is an opener by nature. You have to open with Urvil or bat him at 3. Like either one of those is okay. But I prefer opening. Ruturaj Gaikwad as your captain. Duwald Brevis at 4. Dubé at 5. I know, surprising. Shivam Dubé. I'm still going with him. But he was batting as a slow anchor at 6. He is like that was his role last season. That is a terrible role, especially in this day and age. Even in ODIs you don't have a slow finisher anymore. Okay? That is how bad that was. The only format that you'll ever have a slow finisher in is Test cricket, and that's because Test cricket and that's because it's Test cricket. Okay, that's like you will never have a slow finisher ever again. Maybe I don't quote me on that again. Then you have Shivam Dubé, obviously. Then Mitchell Owen preferably, or Jamie Smith. Mitchell Owen because he can bowl. If not, then Dubé will have to bowl. I actually have a whole graph planned out or whole overs thing planned out. If you want that, just DM me on Instagram or something. Dhoni as your wicket keeper at 7, yeah. Anshul at 8, Noor at 9, Bishnoi at 10, and Ellis at 11. So that's 3 overseas, right? And so then your impact player will either be Khalil Ahmed or Matisha Patirana, depending on the situation. Preferably, I'm gonna go Khalil Ahmed every single time. And maybe even if they get like a Sri Lankan spinner like Hasaranga or Tikshana, they could put them at Chepak, go with just 3 spinners at Chepak, body everyone, and then even if they get like a Bangladeshi one like what's his name, Mahedi Hassan Miraz, they could probably do pretty good. Or there's this other guy, I forgot his name, Rashad Hussain. They could get him too. Yeah, that's it. That's it for CSK. The bad thing about their team is that they don't really have like a stable pace order, because obviously you can't do this in a mini auction. You'll have to do it in a mega auction. So that's the worst part of their team. But 2018, that wasn't a good pace attack either. Next, the Royals. Royals, number 9, 9th place, which is, I thought they'd go at least maybe like 7th, not 9th, but the Royals. Probably want to revamp almost everything about their team, unlike CSK, because CSK did have like a solid end. The top order is somehow okay without Butler, just somehow magically okay without Butler, but they will need a number 3 player because they released Samson, and an economical attack, just an economical attack in general. But now they have both Jadeja and Curran, 2 players who I think they could utilize amazingly. And honestly, I feel like I made their 11 very all-rounder heavy, particularly because maybe it might be an overcorrection. I do overcorrect a lot, especially with these kind of videos. It might be an overcorrection, but I feel like this is just very versatile. Versatile. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's just a very versatile squad. First, who they should retain. Obviously, we're going Jofra Archer, Wanindu Hasaranga, Luan, I never know how to pronounce it. Luan De Pretorius, Dhruv Jarrell, Nandre Berger, Rian Parag, Sandeep Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal, and finally Vaibhav Suryavanshi. 15-year-old, right? 15 now? Yeah. This keeps their core safe while also allowing for some free wiggle, just a little bit of free wiggle room. Some surprising releases, Sanju Samson, who should have been kept because he would have brought even more stability to an inexperienced top order. This entire side is very inexperienced. Jofra Archer has not, like, he's been around for what? He's only been around for 7 years, okay? It's 2025. He's only been around for 7 years. He is not as experienced as people think. People think, oh, dude, he's one of the best bowlers of all time. He's so experienced. Dude, he is not experienced. He is a young guy. He is 29, and he has been injured for like 4 of those years. He's been injured for so long, okay? So you have a very inexperienced squad, which is not what you want in the second cycle of the IPL, especially when you got ninth place last time. So very, very young squad. I think the average age has got to be like 21 or something on here. There's no way. It's like Pretorius is like 19, Rudrell's like 24, and Andre Berger is also like 25. Archer's like 29. Hasranga's like, I think Hasranga's like 30 now. Rian Parag is also like 26. 24 maybe, I don't know. Sandeep Sharma's 32, I guess. Yashasvi Jaiswal's like 23. Vaibhav Suryavanshi, as we know, is 15. It does keep their core safe though, which I think like without Sanju Samson, that's very surprising. Keeps their core safe surprising. And other than that, Quaid Abafaka, surprising release because maybe people like think he's a prodigy, but yeah, he is a prodigy, but he's just not IPL material yet. And Fazal Haq Faruqi, which I just don't think he'll have space in the pace attack, which is sad, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Now for who they should target. It really isn't that hard. It's Indian spinners specifically. I mean, they already have Jadeja, which from Rajasthan's standpoint, it makes sense that they got Jadeja because he's literally an Indian spinner, something that they've needed since 2024. And I would like try to look for one more defensive option, preferably maybe Saumi Pandey. I don't even know if he's like, I don't know when the U19 players ever come into the auction, but Saumi Pandey is a good U19 spinner. He was good in the U19 World Cup. Tanush Kotian, talked about him a lot earlier this year. And even Vignesh Putter, I think MI will release him, but obviously yet to be seen. Then they could fill out some overseas slots with some finishers like Jamie Smith, David Miller, Glenn Phillips if they're feeling good. Maybe even an anchor at number 5 if you're feeling lucky. An anchor at number 5, that's a gamble right there. But yeah, I doubt that they're going to do it this year specifically, just because of how many things are going wrong with or how many things are going well with defensive pacers this year. An attacking opening with Vaibhav Suryavanshi and Yashasvi Jaiswal with stability brought by Akers at 3 and 4, not bad. And then an offensive pace attack coming, and then a defensive spin attack, which is great. This is best case scenario, by the way. And all of that being rounded out with a good amount of all-rounders who can give you overs and win you a game with their batting. Amazing. And then 2 finishers who can win tough games. Oh, I think I have 2, right? Yeah. Anyway, best case scenario, team should look like this. Yashasvi Jaiswal, opening with Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Jarrell as your keeper at 3, I know, surprising. Rian Parag at 4 as your captain. Maybe not the best captain, but a captain. Jadeja, also an option for captaincy, at 5. Jamie Smith at 6. Maybe not the best, but still a good pick. Suryan Shedge, no one really knows about him. He was a Mumbai finisher, and this would be way easier if Syed Mushtaq Ali was already started by now, but it didn't. Starts November 25th, I believe. I don't know. I think November 25th or 26th. Starts sometime like that. So if Syed Mushtaq Ali was here right now, then I would be more on my game, but I'm not. So you're gonna have to deal with it. Sam Curran at 8, I believe. Sam Curran at 8, yeah. And then Vignesh Putter at 9, Archer at 10, Berger at 11, Sandeep Sharma at 12, or impact player. Archer can bat a bit, so you can put him up at 9 as well. So your batting goes all the way down to 9. Your bowling, you have a part-timer in Parag, you have full-timer in Jadeja, you have Suryan Shedge, I think he could give a couple overs. You have Sam Curran who could also give a couple overs. Vignesh Putter, who is full quota, Archer, who's full quota, Berger, who's full quota, Sandeep Sharma, who's full quota. So you have a pretty good pace attack right there. Um, Berger's left-handed. Yeah, Berger's left-handed. So you have two left arm pacers, two left arm or two right arm pacers. Then you have one right arm spinner, one left arm spinner. The problem that's missing here is probably the leg spinner, an offensive spinner, or maybe a defensive pacer. That those are two things that are missing. And those are two things I would fix, but obviously you can't fix majority of your bowling attack in just one mini auction. You'd have to, like I say, it's a mini auction. It's really hard to fix stuff in a mini auction. And 21 minutes of recording. Goddamn, I have to edit all of this. Okay, let's talk about KKR. It wasn't really just a handful of bad players. Rather, it was their just like mentality and terrible decision making after winning or just like playing a match. Also, a good portion of their team was out of form, like the dependables like Narain, Dekak, Rinku, Russell, Varun, Venkatesh Iyer. They were all out of form, and their all-out mentality made them take like unnecessary risks, which prevented them from winning the game. I think Rahane as captain, he made the batting look okay, actually. Ended up scoring 390 runs in 12 innings at an average of 35, striking at 148, so probably keep him, you know. I would retain Rinku, Narain, Harshit, Raghuvanshi, Ramandeep Singh, Ajinkya Rahane, Andre Russell, and Varun Chakravarti. And RTM Venkatesh Iyer, because 23.75 or whatever, that's insane for Venkatesh Iyer. If not Iyer, then maybe Nitish Rana. Oh, wait, no, Nitish Rana went to DC. Sorry, this was, I just got a message, about 2 hours ago, and I changed, a bunch of parts in the script because of a bunch of trades that just happened. Yeah, not great, right? But it's whatever. We'll keep talking about it. I should use the light. Yeah, okay. Let's keep going. KKR is still looking for replacements for Phil Salt. Ideally, Dekak would have been a reliable choice, but he still isn't in the best form. He did do really good against Pakistan in the ODI series, 100 and 250s, I believe. So maybe RTM or retain. I would RTM him, definitely. They would also want a good experienced seamer, preferably Indian, so that they don't have to waste their overseas slot. Maybe someone like Natarajan, but he won't be released. And then they could probably go for Mayank Yadav. I think Mayank Yadav should be released. Akashdeep, probably a reliable-ish one. Concerns about the Pacers going for runs, I don't think they shouldn't matter as much because you have a really good spin attack with both Narayan and Chakravarti. So I don't think that really matters. Ben Duckett would be a solid opener, along with Ajinkya Rahane. And then they would have to consider maybe an overseas number 4 player, like maybe Cameron Green, or maybe a spinner in Will Jacks, or maybe a wicket keeper as well. Did I already put Pentagon? No, I didn't. Okay. Or maybe a wicket keeper as well. You don't know. Maybe even a finisher if required, but Rinku, Ramandeep, and Russell are already there. So the final team will look like this. I did forget a wicket keeper when I was talking before, but Ben Duckett is an occasional one, so maybe he can keep, or maybe if they retain Gurbaz, they can take Gurbaz. Maybe Josh Inglis would be an interesting one, or maybe even Jamie Smith. I don't know. So, shoot. I messed up. Did I retain? Yeah, okay, well, that's not good. So, I think that they would go Ben Duckett as their wicketkeeper. They would probably go Ajinkya Rahane, Amrish Raghuvanshi, and instead of Josh Inglis, they would do Cam Green or Will Jacks at 4, Andre Russell at 5, Rinku Singh at 6, Ramandeep Singh at 7, Sunil Narayan at 8, Varun Chakravarti at 9, and Akashdeep at 10. Did I forget someone? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I forgot Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana will be playing too. I am sorry. Mayank Yadav is their impact player. It is 1 a.m. here, okay? Don't blame me. LSG is next, and honestly, their real problem was their fairly weak bowling attack. The batting was somehow good. I don't really get it. Was pretty consistent throughout the entire season. Their middle order left a lot to be desired, though. While Punt didn't have that great of a season with the bat, he did have a pretty good captaincy season, and his bowling changes were really good, that they actually made the bowling attack look good. So I feel like retaining him is the correct move. Maybe release him and then RTM him because 27 crores is a lot. 27 crores is quite a bit. But you know what? Doesn't matter. But I don't feel that's the real issue with this team. Focusing on the middle order should go a long way. But the real problem really comes out when you look at the retentions. All you need is bowlers who can contain 220, which shouldn't be too difficult. But if you're gonna be retaining Pant, Puran, Badoni, Marsh, Markram, Rati, and Motion, that leaves you with one overseas slot, and that just actually sucks when you need both pacers and middle order batters who can finish. Also, I was gonna keep Shardul Thakur, but they traded him off for 2 crores to MI, and I think that should have been that was no. It should have been at least 3 or 4, considering his form in the last IPL, and also considering the fact that he can bat a bit, and also considering the fact that LSG won't have that much money. So who to replace Shardul Thakur with? An overseas pacer? My choice is Bryden Cars. He bats and bowls pretty well, so I think it's just an upgrade. But here's a solid team that probably would work. Marsh, Markram opening, Badoni at 3, Puran at 4, Pant at 5. Bashir Khan, uncapped and pretty good. Even Safraz is a good choice, but Bashir bowls better, so I chose him. Shubham Dubey as a finisher. Shubham Dubey. Not Shivam Dubey. Shubham Dubey. Bryden Cars at, what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Digvesh Shirati at 9. Manimaran Siddharth at 10, Moshid Khan at 11, and Kuldeep Sen at 12. And then we have SRH. Should not have gone 6th place. All they did was win dead rubber matches, which showcased what they could have done all season. They retained their main core from 2024, but weren't able to replicate that same dominance that they did in 2024. And it's kind of because of this hit or miss style of cricket that they can't win that much. Their bowling attack is so terrible, and they never try to improve on it because they never expect their batting to fail. And if it does fail, nothing can make up for it. Shami, Harshal, and Cummins, not the key. Not the right choice for a T20 bowler. And in a mini auction, I really doubt that they can actually get good pacers. So it's hard, right? You can't get good enough defensive pacers. Spinners would be easy. There are a lot of good defensive spinners. Anukul Roy, Shams Malani. They are all very good defensive spinners. Even Karan Sharma, if you want an offensive spinner, those are all really good spinners. But they already have 2 solid spinners. Harsh Dubey, uncapped, and Zishan Ansari, also uncapped. And they both did pretty well last season. It was their first season, so I think they did solid enough in their first season. And they can also stabilize the batting order by making their players anchor a little. Travis Head is a solid choice for this anchored mentality, as he can maintain on 140 plus strike rate while also staying in. And Klassen and Sharma can go at it. SRH also don't have a solid number 3, which is such a bad thing for this great of a batting lineup, not having a number 3. What are we doing? I feel like if they had a number 3, they would be so much better. I was also thinking Nitish Kumar Reddy, number 3, maybe. Then they can get a finisher like Robin Mins to go on with Aniket and Klassen. But my choice, Ricky Boy, could also be a good number 3. He's a local player. He's done good in domestic cricket. They should go for him. Finally, they should retain Travis Head, Heinrich Klassen, Aniket Verma, Abhishek Sharma, Harsh Dubey, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Pat Cummins, Simranjeet Singh, Ishan Malinga, and Zishan Ansari. Their final playing 11 should look like this. They should open with Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma at 2, Ricky Boy at 3, Heinrich Klassen at 4, Nitish Kumar Reddy at 5, Aniket Verma at 6, Robin Mins at 7, Harsh Dubey at 8, Pat Cummins at 9, Simranjeet Singh at 10, Ishan Malinga at 11 as your final overseas bowler, and then Zishan Ansari at 12. I did not mark all of the overseas players, so I hope that's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 overseas players. Okay, thank God. First thing, okay, let's start with Delhi. Delhi, number 5, they did pretty good. But how did they mess the season up? One of the best squads on paper after MI, and I actually predicted them to win a trophy in most of the weekly reviews I did. Started out with 4 wins, then a loss, then went on to win, lose twice, draw, lose twice, and 1 win after getting eliminated. Bottled an amazing season. Insane. and all because they can't close like a single game. Kind of like Rajasthan, but a bit better. They take too many unnecessary risks and lose easy games, and then get steamrolled in other games. Main problems: unstable power play batting, five different opening combinations. Not the best. It's just annoying for selectors. Um, Best two openers probably Abhishek Parel and KL Rahul. The bowling wasn't good either. There's just too many run leakers. They can take wickets, but as we know, those are overrated in T20s, and obviously they might be better in different formats. Mitchell Stark, but in T20s, don't need them as much. But he did bowl amazingly into that, so not taking stuff away from that. I would retain Abhishek Parel, Karan Nair, KL Rahul, Samir Rizvi, Tristan Stubbs, Akshar Patel, Ashutosh Sharma, Kuldeep Yadav, Dushmanta Chamira, Vipraj Nigam, Tangasara Natarajan, and as much as I hate to say it, Mitchell Stark. I doubt he'll be utilized that much though, but I'd rather use Shamira because he's a way better power play bowler. They should target overseas openers like Mitch Owen, Ben Duckett, or Batum Nissanka. With Pacers, they should go with power play bowlers like Fazil Haq Faruqi, Naveen ul Haq, or even Sarman Travalkar if he'll be in the auction. With all of that, here's the playing 12 for Delhi in 2026. Okay, update. Vipraj Nigam, I told him, right? Like I said, I just wrote this and then I edited stuff after the trades. This is one of the evidence. Vipraj Nigam is in Rajasthan now. I don't think I put him in Rajasthan's team, but I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. That's a really dumb idea. I think he should have stayed in DC. It would have been way better with Vipraj Nigam. Nitish Rana also came to DC for 4.2 cores, which is another dumb idea. I guess he can replace Carter Nair, but I don't really care. I feel like it's pretty dumb. Doesn't change anything. He could probably play instead of Risby or Carter Nair. I don't really care. But here is the team: Abhishek Parel, Mitch Owen, KL Rahul, Karan Nair, Tristan Stubbs, Akshar Patel, Ashutosh Sharma, Samir Rizvi, Kuldeep Yadav, Naveen ul Haq, Dushmanta Chamira, and your impact player will be Tangasara Natarajan. Again, like I said, Nitish Rana can play instead of Karan Nair or Samir Rizvi in the squad. I don't think it should matter as much because he won't have as much as an impact. I think KL Rahul will have the main, he should be having the main impact in this squad. And Akshar Patel, obviously. Now let's get to the qualified. Mumbai qualified. I felt like they have a good enough team to win a trophy. But no real weaknesses here. Top order looks good enough. Rohit Sharma isn't the best IPL batter, but he is solid, obviously. Ryan Rickleton and Johnny Bairstow, both good picks. Ryan Rickleton's younger, so he's going to go. Surya at 3, just really good top order, All-rounder, heavy middle order, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya, we know the drill. And now Shardul Thakur and Surfain Rutherford just to boost it even more. Surfain Rutherford isn't that good, but you get what I'm saying. The bowling is solid. I mean, they have Bumrah, what more do you want? They have Chahar and Bolt as well, I guess, but, you have Bumrah, right? Bolt might be finished, but you have Bumrah, However, Allah Ghazanfar, he's a really good player for this team. I think that maybe even taking Nabi or even Tabraj Shamsi would be really good. They do want a strike bowler though. Shamsi's definitely a better strike bowler than Nabi. Allah Ghazanfar is the best of them though. I would definitely go for retaining Allah Ghazanfar. They should also target Jacob Duffy and Jaden Seals, two other pacers who are overseas and also could replace one of the two, Trent Bolt or Trent Bolt. They should retain Rohit Sharma, Ryan Rickleton, Suryakumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, Mitchell Santner, Tilak Verma, Will Jacks for versatility. Probably gonna not play that much, but for versatility, sure. Trent Bolt, Jasprit Bumrah, Deepak Chahar, Namandir, Allah Ghazanfar, and finally Bevan Jacobs. They can retain Vignesh Puthar, but I feel like their spin is already good enough, and you can get someone for cheaper, who is just as good. They would open with Rohit Rickleton as your first overseas player, and you're also your wicketkeeper. Suryakumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya, Namandir, Shardul Thakur, Mitchell Santner, Deepak Chahar, Jasprit Bumrah, and Allah Ghazanfar to round it all out. And impact player probably Jacob Duffy or Trent Bolt. Both of those are good. Either of them works. Okay. I'm going really fast, but time for Gujarat. Not really that many flaws, honestly. Can't think of any except for the fact that their middle order is very bad. and finishers. They're just really bad. They just don't have like depth that most people would want in T20s. It's a very surface level team, relies on 4 to 5 players, but it worked last year. So what's stopping it this year? I think they could easily get a way better team this year. They should retain Gil, Mendes, Sudarshan, Shah Rukh Khan, Joss Butler, Rashid Khan, um, Washington Sundar, Glenn Phillips, Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, Rabada, and R. Sai Kishore. The spin here is fine. The middle order just really has to improve. The finishers should be a bit better, but with Phillips, it's already pretty solid. Last year, what they did with a lot of the pace attack is like switch it up a lot. They switched it up a lot. They switched up the spin attack a lot too. They switched up the batting order a lot depending on the pitch. I assume they're gonna go for that this year as well, because it worked so well last year. But I'm just gonna give a standard 11 or standard 12. Like just what they'd use in Ahmedabad, I presume. Also, let's talk about some surprising retention/releases. Shahrukh over Tawatia. I know Tawatia has been like one of the best, most consistent finishers in the IPL. Most consistent Indian finishers in the IPL, I should say. Since like 2022 or something, 2020-ish. I just feel like Shah Rukh Khan is way more versatile and also had better performances in leagues like TNPL compared to Rahul Tawatia. Releasing Shanaka also fairly surprising, but I just don't see him fitting in that well. It's already like 3 to 4 anchors at the top, so someone like Shanaka will just make it even worse. He's really good at building the long game, but he just doesn't fit here. He can power hit. I'm not saying that he can't, but he's very good at building the long game compared to power hitting. I mean, like, I would definitely keep him, but also just no overseas spots. You could keep him in here, I guess, instead of one other uncapped player that I have kept here, who I will reveal right now. They should target middle order batters like Cam Green, Josh Inglis. Josh Inglis probably not going to get released. I'm just saying he's probably not going to get released. But Attar Bataid or Uday Saharan. Uday Saharan, that's the uncapped player I was talking about. I think I would go either way. I would definitely keep like at least one uncapped player in the squad just for like, because I think he's a really good player. But I would maybe like put Shanaka in at times, put Uday Saharan in at times. Definitely get that uncapped player in. You do want to kind of bring some uncapped Indians in as well. So let's just go off naming the teams. Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill at the top. Obviously, Joss Butler at 3. Uday Saharan / Dasun Shanaka at 4. Washington Sundar at 5. Glenn Phillips at 6. Shah Rukh Khan at 7. Rashid Khan at 8. R. Sai Kishore at 9. Prasidh Krishna at 10. And Siraj at 11. And finally, your impact player would probably be Kagiso Rabada. That's 4. That's already 4 overseas. So you can't have Dasun Shanaka. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was saying. Because I usually note my overseas. I didn't note it this time. I'll note it right now, just so that I have it for future reference. Punjab, fantastic team. Somehow, like, I didn't really get it. Even their, like, what I thought would be problems, they turned out to be strengths. They're probably looking for someone to strengthen that middle order, not an anchor, but a power hitter, someone like what Livingston is supposed to be. They're also probably looking for someone to support Arshdeep Singh, like maybe Jacob Duffy or Jaden Seals, and maybe even a wicketkeeper who can bat in the middle, kind of like Jitesh Sharma, but not Jitesh Sharma, obviously. Or maybe even an Alex Carey, you never know. Josh Inglis should be fine, though. Anyone who can play spin is really good. However, I feel like they already have most of these guys in their squad. Who should they retain? Shreyas Iyer, Priyansh Arya, Josh Inglis, Prabhsimran Singh, Nehal Badera, Asmatullah Omarzai, Aaron Hardy, Marco Jansen, Mushir Khan, Shashank Singh, Suryan Shedge, Arshdeep Singh, Xavier Bartlett, Yuzi Chahal, Harpreet Brar, Kyle Jamieson, and Lockie Ferguson. Whew, that's like 15 players right there. They could also probably target some Indian who are top order batters like maybe Sarfaraz Khan, and they could also get pitchers like Ben Dorshis as well. I don't see many problems with anything else except for spin. If they could get Karan Sharma or Shams Molani or Nakul Roy, they should be fine though. Here is what their proposed 11 would be. Priyansh Arya at 1, Prabhsimran Singh at 2, Shreyas Iyer at 3, Josh Inglis at 4, strong top 4, Mushir Khan at 5, Shashank Singh at 6, Nehal Badera or Ravman Powell at 7, Aaron Hardy at 8, Marco Jansen at 9, Arshdeep Singh at 10, Yuzi Chahal at 11, and Anukul Roy at your impact player. Bat till 9, which is nice. That is actually even Arshdeep can bat a bit, I guess. Um, Now on to defending champions, RCB. Obviously, they don't need much. Okay, think about it. They won the trophy. I would fix only two spots. That's the number 3 spot and the power hitter at 5. Lots of problems with number 3s this year, I guess. I would also try to deepen both the pace attack and spin attack. Just make tiny improvements. So obviously, we're gonna retain like 50 players. You can only retain 25, but these are like 20 players, I think. Patitar, David, Kohli, Salt, Jitesh, Padikal, Agarwal, Krunal, Bethel, Shepard, Hazelwood, Muzarabani, Bhuvi, Rashik, Suyash, Swapnil, Tushara, and Yash Dayal. Target players like Abhinav Manohar, Ben Duckett, Ben McDermott, not Ben Duckett, Mushir Khan, Mark Chapman, and Rovman Powell. Maybe even 1, 2, 3, 4. You already have 4 overseas. So if you did have like a free overseas spot, like maybe you took out Romario Shepherd, put him in you put Abhinav Manohar in. If you put one of those guys in, you could probably get an overseas number 3 like Cam Green. I mean, you're probably not getting Cam Green considering that your purse is going to be small compared to other teams. But if you can get someone who can bat at number 3, you should be really good. You would be really good. But Buddy Cole's good already, so that doesn't matter. So final 12: Salt, Kohli, Buddy Cole, obviously strong top 3. Buttigieg at 4. Tim David at 5, Jitesh Sharma at 6, Romario Shepherd at 7, Krunal Pandya at 8, Bhuvi Kumar at 9. I also put Akib Nabi at 10 or at 9 as well. Akib Nabi, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but he's been really good at domestic cricket. Jammu and Kashmir player. He's really good right now. I think he has the 3rd most wickets in Ranji right now. He's like 28 wickets. He averages like 18 or something. He's doing like really good right now, but he doesn't hit that 140k mark or he doesn't hit that 130. I think he's like mid speed is like 130ish, which is not good, but it's around Bhuvi Kumar's pace, so they should go for him definitely. Josh Hazelwood, Yes Dayal at 11, and then Suyash Sharma as your impact player. This is literally their final squad. Like this is like very very similar to what they were playing with for most of the year last year. And it obviously makes sense because they won, right? So I feel like this is not even like anything that you get in this auction won't help you. Obviously, Mark Chapman, that's a really good pick. Robin Powell, also really good. Just you probably do need replacements like for players like Jitesh Sharma, in case he gets injured, because his batting style very eccentric, could injure him, could cramp him a lot. Like if I was batting like that, I know that would like hurt my back a lot. And then also Josh Hazelwood, very injury prone. Bhuvi Kumar, also old, but you do have Akib Banabi as that, like I said, as your replacement. And then obviously you can bring in replacements. It doesn't matter if it's injury, but just to like rest. But you do have Muzarabani as well. Then you have Rashid Kadar as well. You have like really good replacements. And Swapnil Singh as your replacement if you need Shia Sharma or Krunal Pandya out. You have a lot of players that you can rest and then switch out. It's very versatile. I really like this team this year. I think they're good. I think they could win a second trophy this year, considering like if this is their team. Trophy contenders, still like the top, probably like the same players. Probably like the same team. I really like what was the team? I really like not this team. I didn't really say Josh Inglis. I really like Rajasthan's team this year because I said I put a lot of good players there. I really like their team this year. I'm just saying, like, it's a very young team, so I doubt like they're actually gonna win. But I feel good about this team. That's like the one team I feel good about. CSK, we could go somewhere with that. I don't think Punjab can win much this year. Looking at their team, finishers just aren't good enough for Punjab to actually win. Maybe I'm wrong. You never know. I'm just saying what I think. And spin attack. I think Punjab, RCB, Rajasthan, and probably GT would be my contenders for the trophy this year. Yeah, that's it. 15 minutes talking. I talked for 21 minutes for two teams, by the way. Okay, bye.